Blackbird on the wing, bird of the forest shadows, black rose in the long ago summer. This was your song. It is in time that's passing by, my friend. It is you and I.
I'm delighted to be with India's best-loved English writer. As the English nut, it's a dream come true for me to be able to meet him and talk to him. Thank you so much, Mr. Bond.
Thank you for arranging this little get-together, and I look forward to chatting to you and about books, writing, anything under the sun that's got to do with literature.
I came across this quote from an American writer called Stephen Wright. He said, "I was reading the dictionary and I thought it was a poem about everything." And this quote reminded me of you because you've mentioned that you have the dictionary, the Oxford English Dictionary with you on your desk, and you love to read it.
Yes, well, that's a lovely definition of his, a poem about everything. You know, I came about being a fan of the dictionary was, well, one day, a couple of years back only, I was looking desperately for something to read. I'd sort of run out of reading matter, the kind of books I like reading. And in sheer desperation, I picked up the dictionary. Somebody sent me a huge copy of I thought I'd use it for weightlifting, if nothing else, you know, the Oxford English Dictionary. And then I turned to it casually, and I was hooked. And then after that, I've become a regular. You know, every week, at least one day in the week, I'll turn to the dictionary. It's just great learning new words, or even rediscovering old words, or even words that have gone out of use. So, and new words keep happening every day, of course, in our technological age.
Right.
But I skip those.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at them. So I just, you know, it's great fun.
You know, coming to a few other of these old-fashioned words, which I've not necessarily seen in your books, but for example, the word Stepney, which is not used much today.
You know, even I don't know that word very well. I vaguely remember it being used, Stepney.
Yeah.
I think Stepney is a district in London.
In Wales, I'm told.
In Wales, it might be all right.
Yeah.
I thought it was London. Okay, then.
Yeah.
It probably refers to an Anglo-Indian accent or an Indian accent, because the Welsh accent is very sing-song.
Right.
So rather like an Anglo-Indian or Indian accent of someone speaking English, particularly back in the 50s or 40s and 50s. So if they referred to someone as speaking like Stepney, they might have said he thinks he's Welsh, something like that. Huh?
So I've actually never heard it used like that. I've heard my father talking about the spare tire of the car.
Okay, there is a Stepney, right?
As a Stepney.
Oh, where it helps to change the tire.
Yeah, it's when you have a puncture, it's the spare tire which is kept in the car. That used to be called a Stepney, and I believe it's from Stepney Street in a place called Llanelli in Wales, where this thing was made originally. So that's.
Achha. And I used to think it's something to do with being a Cockney, but I got it wrong.
Okay.
Of course, if it has something to do with a spare tire, it might well refer to someone's waistline even.
Yes, that would be a good way to.
How's your Stepney today, Mr. Bond?
Right. What about galluses? Galluses?
Galaxy.
No, galluses, the like suspenders.
No, I don't know that one.
Okay.
We did use suspenders quite a bit when I was a boy, I remember, because in those days you didn't have zips and buttons were always breaking. So suspenders were considered to be more secure so that your trousers wouldn't fall down so quickly.
An author that you've mentioned as being one of your favorite ones is Ambrose Bierce.
Oh, Bierce.
Who wrote the Devil's Dictionary. So could you talk to us about him?
Yes, Ambrose Bierce was actually a journalist. all his life. He was a famous journalist in America in the years of the Civil War period. And people were afraid of him because he was a very trenchant journalist, and if he attacked you, you were in trouble. And so he was eccentric, and he had a colorful life. But he's best known today not for his journalism, which is all gone like yesterday's newspaper, but for some short stories he wrote, which were sort of horror stories, mostly, very dark. And The Eyes of the Panther was one of them. And also for his book he wrote called The Devil's Dictionary, which he gave sort of his own definition of various words. I think we've kept noted a few here.
Yeah, will you?
But he's also known or notorious for the fact that he disappeared. Until today, no one knows what happened to him. When he was about 70, he went off on his own into Mexico to cover some local war there, and he was never seen again, dead or alive. And there's, since then, over 100 years, 200 years ago, people still speculate on what happened to Ambrose Bierce.
Yeah. Well, he must have made a few enemies as a journalist.
Make enemies. He made enemies, but those enemies were in the USA,
yeah.
Not down in Mexico. He probably took a bullet that was meant for someone else, and somebody just dumped him in a
unmarked
shallow grave, unmarked grave, and after that, even when later on people came looking for him, nobody knew anything about him. So he was never found. What were some of the words that?
So if you just go to the second page,
The covers of this book are too far apart. That's one of his expressions. Huh? He could be pretty
He would
mean.
describe David Copperfield, the book, like that. But yeah, he's defined a cabbage and a dentist.
A familiar kitchen garden vegetable about as large and wise as a man's head. And love, a temporary insanity, curable by marriage. I'm not sure if it's curable by marriage. And his marriages weren't on the rocks, at least two of them. But he was an interesting man, and those short stories of his have lasted, and still are very readable. They often come in anthologies, of horror or ghost stories.
One of the definitions of his, which I really like, is of a dentist, whom he calls a prestidigitator, who, having put metal in your mouth, pulls coins out of your pocket.
Wonderful. Somebody pinched my copy of the dictionary. It's not easy to find, I think. Maybe one can
I've come across versions online, but not actual copies of the book.
The actual copy, yes. But it's got about a few hundred definitions.
Right.
It doesn't fit his definition of a book that needs covers to be closer.
Right.
It's a slim volume, but quite substantial.
Mr. Bond, thank you very much. It was.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. You made me talk. Normally, I'm a very silent person.
I'm really, really fortunate that you opened up and you were very, very sporting about it.
I am the English nut. Bye for now.
I'm the English nut. Bye for now. I have a special announcement to make for the fans of Ruskin Bond, which is the launch of a new venture called the Ruskin Bond Collections, which consists of signed copies of his books, combinations of different books with objects like this lovely stuffed toy.
Timothy the Tiger Cub.
Timothy the Tiger Cub. So you're going to find all this and more if you go to www.ruskinbond.in.